Nice, huh? Yes. The new Kimber revolver. Finally got our hands on one. The Cock 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the beautiful wet hills of Middle Tennessee, home of Alvin York, Dolly Parton, Davy Crockett, lots of fine folks who are wet today if they're outside. Okay? It's raining. You can probably hear it. I thought it'd be a nice, I was kind of in the mood to do a shooting the breeze, and I know I've been negligent. It's been over a month, I think. And just was in the mood, but wouldn't you know it, the first rainy day we've had in about a month, I think, which I have loved. I love the dry weather. But it's raining, and I love the sound of it on the roof and on the porch roof here. Hopefully it's not too annoying to you. I'll try to speak up in case it is trying to drown me out. Wouldn't want to drown out my, words of wisdom, my brilliance, right? So anyway, it's good to see you again here on the porch. I don't know what you've been up to, but we've been having a good time. And we welcome you to my humble abode, virtually at least, right? Unfortunately, the only way I can welcome you, see the FAQ videos. We still have a lot of new folks who don't quite get it, that this is not a public spot or public range, and are still continually asking, do I give lessons? Can they come take some lessons or come to the range? That sort of thing. But anyway, you can visit me virtually here on YouTube anytime you would like, really. On your phone, your computer, whatever you'd like to do. So what's been going on? I guess I thought I'd catch you up and then hear from you. Maybe you'd let me know what you've been up to. And I'll try to listen best I can to hear you. So we'll get around to most of you before we're finished here, okay? So what have I been doing? What have we been doing? I don't know. We've been shooting a lot and doing all the usual things. Before we start, let me remind you, John is going to be at Zany's, the comedy club in Nashville. Okay, I want to be sure I mention that because that's coming up November the 2nd. John does mostly open mic things. He just really enjoys it. Whether he's funny or not, he really enjoys it. Okay, and sometimes I've heard him. He's actually funny sometimes. Okay, and so anyway, I want to let you know about that. I know he's been reminding you also that on November the 2nd, anybody around town that has nothing to do, pop into Zany's and you might see John. It's what's he call it? A showcase. It's a night where I think there's a lot of different people there. I'm not sure if there's a feature or who it is or how it is, but John has a short segment, that night. Zany's is a real comedy club. It's not like an open mic bar. And so anytime someone who likes doing the open mic stuff can actually get onto that stage, whether it's for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it is, it's kind of special, I guess. So it'd be like if you're familiar with Camp Perry, if you like to shoot, if you got to go shoot at Camp Perry or something, even if it was on a Wednesday afternoon and nobody else was there, you're at a really special place, So anyway, let you know about that. What else? Well, the usual. Just be sure you stay up with our Facebook and all that. We're doing a little bit more on Facebook because a lot of you are there, okay? And maybe a lot of people who don't even watch all of these. I don't know. There's 500,000 followers over there, whoever you are. And so sometimes we'll post clips of videos over there and just different things. We do a little bit of live Facebooking occasionally, and so that sort of thing. So check the description anytime you want to know anything, all right? Because I update that whenever anything has changed, right? So anyway, some of that out of the way. But we have been having fun. We went down to the Iraq Veterans Shoot. It's been a couple of weeks ago, I guess now, in Georgia, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of folks there that are in the industry and other YouTubers, other bloggers, people that just, in the media mainly and in the industry. And did a lot of shooting, various firearms, some fully automatic stuff, and it's funny because people will bring. There was a guy with 2 Desert Eagles on in shoulder holsters, I remember, and there was another fellow there walking around the range with a muzzle loader. I think it was an Enfield Civil War rifle replica, I guess. Was taking some shots, and then all of a sudden here comes a burst of automatic fire from something. So a lot of different things. There's probably been some footage posted about that. I haven't seen any of it yet, but we were there. But that was fun. Would have stayed longer. It's so hard to find a room down there. You're right in the heart of SEC football. Try to find a room. It's crazy. So we had to do a lot of driving in one day to take that in. But so we did that. We have been doing some shooting. You've seen some videos posted, probably. You'd better. Some pretty interesting firearms from time to time. And I never know exactly what's going to be interesting to you guys. I'm surprised sometimes. I really am. Early on, I was surprised a lot that revolvers were a big hit and old guns were such a big hit. And because we have a wide demographic, lots of young people, lots of middle-aged people, lots of old people, women. We have a lot of different sorts of people watching. We know that for a fact because we see you at meet and greets and gun shops and wherever I go occasionally. So anyway, we were surprised early on about that, and pleasantly surprised that the shooting community, at least those who watch YouTube looking for information, enjoy a wide variety of firearms. Revolvers are not well, they're kind of old school, but they're definitely not passé. There's a lot of people have a great amount of interest in them, and maybe they don't even own them, but they just enjoy them, as well as old guns, lever guns, or whatever. So that's kind of nice. For example, we posted, I think the last video, at least as I'm speaking to you, was the TNW kind of survival rifle, and I just ordered one of those because a couple of different people had requested it, and I wasn't even familiar with it. I looked it up, and wow, there's a lot of those and lots of different variations. It looks kind of interesting, and yeah, we'll do one of those, I guess. And you know, I guess we did that, I don't know, a month ago maybe, I don't know, and then I will post that, and didn't expect it, but wow, it's gotten a lot of views very quickly. So you never know. And not that we do it for views. I mean, that rifle, I wouldn't have expected many people necessarily be interested in it or even heard of it like me. But who knows? But again, we don't really base it on, well, we all want to get views. We all want, to have a big audience, I guess. Otherwise, why do this? But still, that's not our primary, frame of mind, I guess, when we're trying to decide what to do. We're trying to do things that we like and that we think people would be interested in, that sort of thing. And we've kind of learned through the years, but still we get surprised sometimes. I don't know what else have we been doing. Oh, the Model 92 we posted recently, the Winchester. Speaking of the Winchester Model 92, is that a beautiful gun or what? That's one of the things that makes this hobby so wonderful, really. The variety, I guess, of firearms out there and things that you can enjoy. It's there's something for everybody, unless you just hate to shoot or something. And if you're one of those people who's so fearful of firearms, of inanimate objects, then work on that. That's all I can say. But there's probably a firearm. If you're not afraid of guns, work on that. But if you have any interest at all, even a passing interest in maybe shooting sometime, there's probably a firearm that you would really like. There's probably a lot of firearms you'd really like once you get into it. But the old guns of the West, that's an entirely, I don't know about separate, but it's a whole genre and a category of firearms that are great fun. The history involved. You can go buy the same firearm basically that Jesse James or Billy the Kid or Wyatt Earp carried. The same feel, the same calibers, and all of that, replicas generally, or even a new Colt, whatever, the same guns, and enjoy them and have fun shooting them, and just know that's what people shot and carried back in 1870, 1880, 1890, whatever. So anyway, there's so many areas of it, AR-15s or Glocks or SIGs, M&Ps, you name it, right? So it's a lot of fun, That 92, though, was great. We also have a little new Desert Eagle action coming. You guys have been asking about 50 Action Express, the big 50 Desert Eagle, for so long, and have given me so much grief. for the few Desert Eagle videos we have posted, because they're with a 44 Magnum, the lowly, puny 44 Magnum, right? But yeah, true enough, the Desert Eagle made the 50, I guess, A&E, famous, so to speak. And so I thought we'd try that, and ordered one up from Bud's and had some fun with it. And so now I fired a 50 A&E, and you'll see that soon. We did a couple of videos with it. It's pretty interesting. The Desert Eagle is it's an oddball piece of equipment, no doubt about it. But I will have to say it does tame that recoil, that gas system. I think I mentioned that in the other Desert Eagle videos, I guess. It's surprisingly mild to shoot. Now, mild probably is not the correct word to use with the 50 A&E. Let's say milder comparative. It's milder than you would expect. Okay, and then of course the 44 Magnum is almost a pussycat when you shoot it in the Desert Eagle, even a hot one, hot round. So interesting gun. You'll see some action, with that soon, as well as some other things, and we've got some things in the bank. That's another topic I could mention. I talk about a little bit to you all, our most loyal viewers. We do videos. I mean, we've been doing this a good while now, and we've kind of figured out a system that works for us. And so if you see a video that was obviously done, maybe the date on the target, the paper target, is a month ago or whatever it is, it's funny, there'll be someone who'll make a comment, "Wow, God, why didn't you post this earlier?" Or "Why do you hang on to videos?" Or it's like we do a video. I mean, it assumes we're not posting anything. I guess that's what always strikes us a little funny when you see a comment. Of course, it's a rare comment, but still you see them. If you think about it, today, for example, it's rainy. It could be rainy all this week. It could be rainy all next week. It could be cold and rainy. John and I might have a place we have to go for a few days, or John can't work, I can't work, we can't, whatever it might be. I was in the hospital with my gallbladder operation for a week, and recovery and different things like that. So there could be easily pop up a couple of weeks we don't make a video. So if we had a system where, okay, we make a video today, we get it rendered, John renders it, gets it ready to post, we post it immediately. If that's the way we operate, then there'd be a couple of weeks we wouldn't post a video, here and there, or a week. We'd post maybe 3 in 2 days, and then nothing for 2 weeks or something. So we just feel like it's better for you all, and just the way we like to operate is to post every 3 days or something like that, 2 or 3 a week, and plus we like to have a little bit of variety. We might have I'm giving you some inside baseball here. If we, for example, maybe I request a shotgun from Bud's that we need to do, we haven't done it, and we do a couple of videos with it, maybe 2 videos with it for some reason, on a Monday. And then, I don't know, if somebody local offers up some shotgun we haven't done, and, oh yeah, cool, yeah, bring it over, we'll do that video. We're not, we can do that tomorrow or the next day or whatever. So we might end up doing 3 shotgun videos in 1 week for some reason, okay? And so we don't want to post 3 shotgun videos in a row necessarily, not that that's a crime. We could do it. So anyway, it also gives us a variety. We can kind of keep an eye on that to some extent. And I tend to do that. I'll look down the last 4 or 5 videos we posted, and if 3 of the last 5 videos have been say a modern polymer pistol or something that we're reviewing, I mean, legitimate firearms that people are interested in learning about, well, then if we've got something different to post, well, it's a good time for a shotgun video, something a little bit different. We really do, believe it or not. We think about you guys. All right. I know it wouldn't make a lot of difference, but even though we're pretty casual, pretty relaxed, we do think about the big picture a little bit. We'd like to have something posted every 3 days, something like that, 2 or 3 a week, like I say, and we don't always stick to a schedule, and then also not end up with 4 shotgun videos posted in a row or anything like that. So having a bank, and then plus we may not be here, or sick or whatever it might be. So it's nice to have a few videos, and we just do the videos when we can, and we keep a few built up and post them when it makes sense. Okay, so I'm sorry if a video on a Winchester Model 97 or a Lee Enfield Mark III is invalidated because we posted it 3 weeks after we actually recorded it. Just kidding. There's always somebody that gets their panties in a wad about something that is kind of irrelevant, But we always deal with that, though, because the weather changes so quickly and the trees are constantly changing. You'll see videos posted, in a month here. There won't be any leaves on the trees in a month or two, and you'll see a video pop up of hopefully a cool gun. Maybe even a good video. Maybe even a brilliant presenter, if we can find one. And there'll be a lot of foliage on the trees. Huh? What's happened? How come you got leaves on the trees? Hickok, it's December the 3rd. So, but that's just the way we operate. What else was I going to ramble? I wasn't even going to talk about that. I never know what I'm going to talk about. I have a couple of bullet points. Bullet points fits, doesn't it? And and kind of update you on what we're doing. This is one of the things, of course, this R6, is that what it's called? Yeah, the Kimber. We've not done a lot of Kimbers, so what do I do when I do a Kimber? I do a Kimber revolver. How's that? Pretty funny, huh? But I looked at this at, when was it? SHOT Show, I guess, it introduced, maybe back in January, or was it? I think it was. It wasn't an NRA meeting. But you know what? I wouldn't have expected much in a revolver from a company that doesn't make revolvers. Didn't make revolvers in the past. But the thing was pretty impressive. Price was pretty high. But it was fairly impressive just to look at and feel. And I haven't fired it yet, but I'm slightly impressed. Grips feel good. And it 6 rounds and about as small a package as you can get in 357 Magnum. So we'll see how it shoots. It's got a pretty short barrel, but I'm sure it will fire. Yeah, no problem. It's tough, isn't it? There's so many firearms out there to choose from. There's a big decision right there. What do I want? I just had a delivery from the FedEx guy talking about, literally like 5 minutes ago. And well, wait a minute, Hickok, you've been talking for 6 minutes. Well, it was literally just before I came back to had it all set up, and then I had delivery. But he was talking about, he saw the range. He said that he and his wife had just gotten a gun, and she enjoyed shooting. They were going to an indoor range somewhere, and they were shooting, and maybe going to get a carry gun and different things like that. Yeah, there are so many of you or people right where he is, and there's one of the big decisions right there. They've got a mid-size gun, and they're looking for a carry gun. And the gigantic categories, first of all, you got to choose between really revolver or semi-automatic, right? So, and if you don't have a lot of experience, or obviously you don't have a lot of experience, if you're looking for your first gun, how do you decide that? It's really, really tough. So let me talk about that a little bit, rather than just ramble. Maybe, again, I talk about this from time to time. I used to in the radio shows, and I don't know if I'm any help to you, but I do feel like I have some appreciation for how difficult it is, how difficult it must be, because I go through the same darn thing to some extent, even at my point in firearms knowledge, experience. I still come very, very close to just sticking a Smith & Wesson Model 642 in my pocket and taking the Glock 42 out on days when I need a small gun. I almost did it today. I was kind of cleaning out one of my safes and different things. And I think I'm just going to carry that thing. I didn't do it. I didn't have ammo handy to load it. And I go through it myself. Which gun do I want to carry, and which one actually do I shoot the best that fits for how I need to carry? And that's one of the things. If you're still looking for your first gun, most of you probably watching this are maybe just everybody's looking for a gun. Let's face it. All of you, if you're in the hobby, there's always another firearm out there on the radar, right? No matter how many firearms you have, there's another one you're kind of thinking about. You've read the ad, you've seen a video on it or whatever. I think I might like that. I wonder how that shoots, how it feels. That'd be a better carry gun than I've got, or a better competition gun or whatever. I mean, we're all there, really. I mean, this gun right here is 2016, and if I shoot this and just fall in love with it, maybe it'll replace a Smith & Wesson. If I won't own this, it'll go back to Butts for the e-gunner auctions, but I mean, I might want one of these. I don't know, after all this time. But it's a tough decision, and I mean, really what you've got to do is, I think, would be really helpful, is if you narrow it down to what are you going to do with it, okay? Because I get this question every day, and I can't even answer them all, or I'll even try. Because again, as I said before, you can't. I don't know your situation. I don't know, what you're going to do with the firearm. So those are things you need to decide, rather than just what's the best 9mm to buy, or what's the best bang for the buck in this gun or that gun. I have no idea. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to carry it? Are you a large person, small person? You're going to carry it in a purse? You're going to carry it inside the waistband holster, outside the waistband holster, with a cover garment? You're going to is it going to be a pocket carry? Do you need a pocket carry gun? Now, I mean, once you buy the gun, that kind of dictates to some extent how you're going to need to carry it. All right. For example, if you just fell in love with this gun at the gun shop, if you could find one, I don't think I've seen one. I think this is the first one since the SHOT Show I've laid my hands on around our meeting. But if you just fell, oh, that's a cool gun, I like that, and I like Kimber, I'm going to buy it, you buy it. Well, then you, to some extent, put yourself down one path. This is probably too big for a pocket carry. It's full metal, it's kind of heavy. It might do, there's a big pocket, maybe a cargo or a jacket pocket or something, but it's kind of big for a pocket. But you know what I'm saying. You buy a gun that's really not suitable for pocket carry, even though this one might be, then you've kind of eliminated that as a possibility. You made the decision, to some extent, you eliminated some possibilities just by going ahead and buying the gun. So that's what I'm saying. Now, you do want a gun you like and you shoot well, of course. If you can decide what's the best method of carry for you, now I'm talking to carry people here that can carry, obviously, in this country, mostly, I guess. If you know how you're going to carry that firearm, how you dress normally, and what's going to make the most sense, it would be really advantageous, okay? If you know, oh yeah, I don't want anything to do with pocket carry at all, I want this fairly small gun, not too big, something in a belt holster, on the outside. I don't want anything inside the waistband. And no, I can't do that. I tried that. Somebody's holster once, felt awful. I don't want to deal with that. I don't like things against my skin or that pressure or whatever. Hey, I want an outside the waistband holster, regular belt holster in a small gun, something I can conceal with a shirt like this or jacket. Okay, if you know that much, that's great. That's great. And you already know you want a fairly small gun, not too small, but maybe something about that size or not much bigger, maybe up to, say, a Glock 19 size or something. Well, then that gives you the category where you want to start looking. And then, as always, I suggest getting to a large gun shop that has an indoor range and a lot of rental pistols, okay? And boy, there are some out there. The gun companies offer discounts or special deals to gun shops if they have a range. Like most of them have programs where, I don't know, what is it they do? They give them a discount, or they sell them used guns or something. I don't know how they do it exactly, but they're not free, I don't think. But it's good for the gun company because they get their guns out there where people can try them, right? It's good for the gun shops, so it works out. So some large gun shops with indoor ranges, and you've seen them, have quite an array of handguns to try. Okay, and so then you can kind of pick and choose and go in there and try them. That's the ultimate, I think. Know kind of how you're going to carry it, whether you want a revolver or semi-auto. You may not know until you try them out, but if you know the size, actually that's even more important, I guess. Knowing the size of gun you can tolerate, that you want, at least having a pretty good idea about it, and how you're going to carry it. Okay, then that does leave some options. For example, This firearm, that might be in a category of, say, a Glock, like a baby Glock, a Glock 26 or 27. There wouldn't be a lot of difference in size. So you know how you want to carry it, so maybe you get to a gun shop and you try a revolver in this size category. Maybe you try and again, I always say Glock because I know the model's better, but then a baby, let's see, a M&P compact, I think it's called, the smallest one, or maybe the subcompact, but or whatever the line is, the Ruger or Kimber, you name it. If you want 1911, just get a semi-automatic, kind of in the size that you're looking for, and those would be three distinctly different formats. Maybe you'd want to pick a small 1911. You're not sure. Maybe you want a 1911. You like the way they work in the thumb safety or something. So you get a 1911 that's I don't know, a Commander, or maybe even a little smaller. Something that's not as big as a full size, 1911 government model, and a revolver, and then a polymer pistol of some kind, Glock, M&P, whatever, in the same size area, and you shoot all of them, and shoot them as much as you can. Whatever the program is there, maybe you get some ammo with it, buy some ammo. It'll be well worth your time. Maybe you shoot all three the same day, and maybe don't even decide yet though. You can go back another day and shoot the ones you like the most. Maybe shoot them all three again. I don't know. And wait a week, shoot them again. I don't know yet. I tell you what, the other thing I've talked about to some extent is it has a plastic insert there, a safety thing there fell out. Comes with it. The thing that muddies the water even more and makes it even more difficult is the better you get with a handgun, the more you shoot any of them probably. You start to get a knack for it. You get some training. Maybe someone helps you out there a little bit. This is your first time to the range, and you pick up some tips on how to better trigger control and different things. Your fondness for a specific gun could change. Like you might fire this for the first time and it has a lot of blast, and you haven't fired a gun like this before, and wow, you missed the target. It just didn't do very well. But I don't know. You go back for it and say, I don't want anything to do with that type of firearm. But you go back and you shoot every now and then, for over a period of weeks, and you just get better. You get more comfortable with the gun, you're more comfortable with the blast, more comfortable with the recoil. And it could be that if then I put this firearm in your hands, you tried it again, you go, well, maybe it's not so bad. I'm actually hitting the target. Maybe it's not so bad. And then a year later, after you've had much more experience, it may change again. You may realize that you could actually handle a smaller firearm and shoot it well enough, or that you want a bigger firearm. So you got all those things that complicate matters to some extent. And it's not rocket science, but still, your abilities change, your tastes change, and all that's going on. I think the main thing is if you can just avoid making any big mistakes early on, if you choose a pretty good gun, kind of the worst that could happen maybe is you got a firearm that it's, that gun I bought was nice and I like it, I can carry it, but it's a little bigger than, after you carry a while, that's usually what happens. The gun seems to get bigger on you. You realize, I didn't need one this big. But still, it's a great gun, and so you don't necessarily need to sell it or trade it if you can afford not to. And that's a great gun, though. I love it, and shoot it well, and it's a great range gun, maybe a home defense firearm. But I need to look at another firearm, maybe one of those I tried a year ago, and buy it perhaps for my carry gun. I thought at the time it was too small, or that it was too powerful, or it was too loud or something. But none of those things bother me as much now. And I think I would like it better. You go try it again, say, yeah, this is what the doctor ordered now. So you got all that stuff going on. But I don't know if that's any help to you at all, because I know it's difficult. But if you can just kind of figure out, and that's the reason I can't answer those questions very well. I would have to ask you 20 questions, and I can't engage, 2 million people like that. But that's why I do these. Try to figure out the smartest way for you to carry, if you're going to carry, okay? Is it in a purse or a bag or something? I know some of the experts, they act like you're committing the ultimate sin if you carry off your person in a bag, you ladies especially, and some of you sweeter guys, right? Just kidding. But I sometimes am tempted to carry a purse. I tell you, I envy you ladies, or anybody that carries a purse, because it would solve so many problems. I'll tell you, I would violate all the super trainers' edicts if I were female. Well, sometimes I'm on weekends, when I'm in transgender mood or something. But sorry, couldn't resist. A little humor there, but a purse I think would be great. I would love it. I could carry. I'd have to find one I really like, because they make some great bags, for women that have the compartment with the firearm and nice looking stuff, good leather stuff or whatever, and you just always have that with you. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, and that's what gets men especially, and women too. About time you figure out, how you want to carry that firearm outside the waistband or whatever it is, covers nicely, works well. Then becomes 95 degrees in the shade and humid. I can't cover up a gun. I gotta go to pocket carry or something. You're constantly having to change around your system and everything. But boy, you just always have that bag. You can carry a big gun year round. So I envy that capability. I mean, I could do it. I could carry a man bag, I guess, but I don't know. I get laughed at enough. I probably don't need that good. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Figure out how you're going to carry it, and that'll help you a lot. Okay. Now again, you may not be looking for a gun to carry, and if you're not, then it's not as big a deal. If it's for home defense, here at the homestead, your house, that's maybe I'll save that for another shooting the breeze or something. But the size doesn't matter as much, does it? Just any firearm that you shoot well. Okay, don't worry about caliber. Just get one you shoot well and feels good to you. And is your nightstand too small? Does your gun need to be small to fit on your nightstand or whatever it is? In your the boxes that we promote, any of those little lock boxes, they'll hold about any size handgun. And of course, there's other options for home defense. But so it's not as big an issue. That's why I tend to talk about carry a lot. You folks in other countries, I know we dwell on that a lot. And if you can't carry, maybe it's hard to relate. But maybe some of these things are applicable to you too. I don't know. You don't have those issues, because sometimes you can't even own a gun. Sorry about that. But if you can, it probably can be almost any size, right? So, what else was I going to talk about? I don't know. I don't even know how long I've gone here, but let's make sure we vote, okay? I know it's frustrating to a lot of people right now, because this is an election for the books, isn't it? I mean, anybody that's got any age on them at all has not seen an election like this one. And regardless of which side you're on, it's the more mudslinging than anyone can imagine. Anybody can imagine. So figure it out. Figure out which party or which candidate, which parties are in line with your thinking the most. And just hold your nose, I guess. You really need to vote, whichever way you vote. Please don't get so frustrated with it you just stay home. Go vote, because study the platforms. Hopefully, that said, I've always been one who does not. I'm not a proponent of just voting to vote. I've always advised people, don't vote if you don't know the issues. You're better off not to vote. Please don't go cancel out my vote, because I follow it. I keep up with it. I know what the platforms are. I know what the parties stand for. Okay, now whether or not they follow through with it is another matter, right? But I know at least what they stand for, what they say they're going to promote. And so I don't want some schmo who doesn't know anything or goes and votes for somebody because he's handsome or she's pretty or whatever it is, equals out my vote. And I actually try to keep up with what's going on. So by all means, don't vote if you don't know what's going on, but you know what I'm saying. No, please study the issues and vote. Okay, I know it's a tough time to do it, but but get out there and vote. And I think it's going to be even more important now to vote, especially the Congress, the Senate. Get people in there that that have some sense, that respect freedom, respect the Constitution, okay, the entire Constitution, the entire Bill of Rights. All right, that's what I promote: the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. Whoever you think is going to support that, I hope you'll vote for them. But it's your choice. But please don't just sit home. Do it, please. It's a crazy time. Another thing that sometimes I think is, if we as gun owners, get on my soapbox, we as gun owners, we get really tired of the micromanaging politicians messing with us, right? Because we know the score. There's over 150 million gun owners, and almost all of us law-abiding citizens. You've got obviously the bad guys here and there, but so we get tired of them trying to attack us, and that's our thing, isn't it? Leave us alone. Leave us alone. We're not trying to micromanage you. We're not hurting anybody. We're not bothering anybody. Don't bother us. And so I think sometimes we have to be careful too. We want to be left alone to do our own thing. So as long as we're not, doing anything illegal, we're not endangering anybody. We're not looking to assault anybody. Our firearms are for sport and self-defense, right? So I think we need to remember too, not to be trying to take away other people's rights in other areas. I guess that's my libertarian side coming out. But the entire Bill of Rights is very important to me. The entire Bill of Rights, not just the Second Amendment. So I hope you young folks read the entire Constitution, read the entire Bill of Rights. The First Amendment, the Second, the Third, the Fourth, they're all extremely important. And freedom of speech. And I don't want people bothering me, limiting my rights, my freedom, when I am not hurting anybody. That's kind of my thing. And I am not going to be after you about what you do. Something you want to own. If it doesn't affect me, it's not endangering the world, have at it. Have at it. So I try to be consistent. Probably not always there, but I try to be consistent in my thinking. And I hope that that's what we're all trying to achieve, whether you're far left, on the political scale, or far right, wherever you are. So vote for whomever you believe in, okay? But go vote. Just do it. We've got to do it. That's simple, okay? We've got Supreme Court nominees coming up. It's a very important time. You just can't sit at home, all right? Okay, off my soapbox. What else? I need to wrap it up. Oh, you know what I was going to do? Speaking of the Constitution, I forgot I had these props out here. The Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment, is important. It was important in the 1700s. I almost forgot what I was going to talk about a little bit. I brought my flintlock out here, my old brown vest, cut off brown vest. This it's talked about a lot of time. One of the arguments the anti-gunners use is, well, what do you think? You should be able to own anything? How about a nuclear weapon? Would you like a nuclear weapon? How about a fully armed tank? Or Apache helicopter, fully armed, all this kind of thing. Well, that's just silliness, and they're trying to make us look bad, right? By and large, the way I see it is, we should be able to, as American citizens, and based on the Second Amendment and what our founding fathers really intended, the individual right to own a firearm, basically a handheld firearm, whatever is the most modern and up-to-date handheld practical firearm. At one point it was a flintlock, right? That was it. And of course people are like, well, yeah, they had flintlocks back then. Of course the founding fathers thought that would be okay for everybody to have a flintlock. Yeah. They didn't know there'd be these evil AR-15s and things like this that hold 30 rounds, Well, no, they didn't. Just like with the First Amendment, when they're writing with a feather, dipping it in ink, they didn't know there'd be typewriters and computers and the internet, So let's just outlaw the internet and computers, the ability to communicate with millions of people, like I'm doing about millions, but right now, it's just so simply and everything. Say what I want to say. That could be deemed as dangerous, right? No. Well, maybe by some, but again, First Amendment's just as important as the Second Amendment. So things progress. Things progress. we should be able to communicate however we can with as many people as there was. We should be free to do that. Okay. And same with a practical handheld firearm. We don't, I think probably I would draw the line with individuals having like nuclear weapons, of course, or something that if I'm kind of a klutzy person, for let's say I'm a bull in the china shop, there are things that maybe, or if I have evil intent, but if I'm just accident prone, for example, I don't probably need to have grenades in my pocket, hand grenades in my pocket when I go to town. I mean, maybe I could accidentally blow up 10 people or something. I mean, there are things that and some of you would disagree with me, or some kind of explosive rocket launching device or something that if I just accidentally pointed it the wrong way and 30 people die or something. I mean, there's limits probably on that sort of thing. I see it as any practical handheld rifle. You just keep it at a rifle, handgun as a rifle. I'm not going to accidentally harm a ton of people with this firearm. I'm going to accidentally harm anybody. If I had a negligent discharge, I probably wouldn't hit anybody, but it would be one person probably. I mean, it's not going to happen, but you know what I'm saying? So yeah, sure, you're right. You can't have nuclear weapons, and that's kinds of stupid stuff. But any practical handheld rifle, this sort of device, yeah, they've evolved, but this is what whatever an average police officer might have in his or her trunk, right? Maybe even what an average soldier might carry. That's good enough probably. Okay, so well, it's an AR-15. So I've kind of got the old and the new, right? That should be fine. It's the Second Amendment. In 50 years, maybe that AR-15 will look pretty obsolete and antique. There'll be something else. It shoots bursts of laser or something. I don't know. And if that's a practical firearm, most police officers have one of those in their trunk. Then we should have those too. Just kind of the way I look at it. I don't know about you all. So anyway, support the Second Amendment, support the entire Bill of Rights, get out there and vote, and it's just really important. And we appreciate you guys watching us. We're still amazed that we're still get a bunch of new subscribers every day, and a lot of you are new. And again, that's why you see some of the crazy comments. Probably somebody's brand new. I try to remember that. I have a good nose for smart alecks, and I don't tolerate smart alecks well. Just go away. But I do have a pretty good idea. I can kind of tell when somebody's new to the channel, and there's a lot of them, 1,000, 1,700, every day. It depends on the day. And they just don't know. So they land on a video, and it's the first thing they've seen. And, so they say something that's rather insulting, maybe. No need for that either. But they don't really understand how we operate. They don't know me yet. Little do they know that when they do know me, they'll like me even less, maybe. And that could be the case, right? But anyway, we just still can't believe the continued growth, and that so many of you are out there. We enjoy meeting you all, seeing you out there. We can't get around the country. That's not what we do. We're not a band. We don't do concerts and travel the country. We do videos here at the compound, and then occasionally we get out. It's kind of the way it is. And but we appreciate you all more than you know. And I wish I could answer all of you on Facebook, on YouTube. And I answer some of you, as you know, but I can't answer all of you. It's too many, or else I couldn't reload any ammo. I couldn't shoot. We couldn't do videos. Okay, I can't be at the computer all the time, but I do try to keep up with a lot of you. Watch the FAQ videos. Most of those are in a playlist. Other videos are not. Anybody that thinks the playlists are up to date, they're not even close. They're like 5 years behind. But the FAQ videos are pretty close. I think Shooting the Breeze, some of those playlists I try to keep up. Maybe Shooting the Breeze, I think I do need to update those a little bit. The deep woods thaw, some of those I try to keep up. But as far as military weapons or whatever the playlist is called, I lost control of that a long time ago. It would take about a year to even catch up. So, but anyway, we're glad you're there. You know how to search the channel, I hope. Go to that FAQ number 54 we did at Monument Valley, and it will remind you how you can search the channel and at anybody's YouTube channel and determine what they have, on the channel. And remember, subscribe over on Full 30. Things go haywire, with Google and YouTube or something. I post everything on Full 30, so they're all over there. Okay, all the videos, and they've done a lot of upgrading there, and it's a better place, and it's getting better. So anyway, I'll shut up, and it's been good talking with you. You all have been kind of quiet, but that's okay. Maybe it's just because it's a rainy day. You just weren't feeling very talkative. I've had to do all the talking as usual, and no shooting. That's okay. Life really is good, because if I had one of these guns loaded and I had my ears, you realize I could actually pull it up and fire, and I can see the gong. Yeah, I could put one, bang. I'd be careful not to hit the camera, but I could actually shoot the gong from right here, or at it. And so, as I've said before, I fully realize and fully appreciate that life really is good for me, and something I've been able to, to know most of my life. Once I got past the age of 25 or 30, whether things were bad or they were good. Mostly they've been good. I've had the tragedies here and there in my life, but mostly it's been good. And I think that's an accomplishment we all should try to attain. When things are going pretty well, man, see that glass half full, because in my case, it's been 3/4 full, or all the way full at times. And if you can live in the woods and enjoy your tractor and your land and go out and shoot whenever you want to, live in a log house, which I always wanted. I'd always wanted a log house when I was young. I'd always wanted a tractor. I like firearms. Did you know that? There's really very, very little, short of maybe living the life of Hugh Hefner for a while. I didn't say that. No, there's been very little that I could fantasize about that I don't have, really. Especially now with the ability to shoot almost anything we want to shoot. So yeah, not to be bragging. I'm just pointing out that when things are going well, try to appreciate it, and because it'll change. What's the old line that is always appropriate to say at any time, at any event? This too shall pass away. Because everything is short-lived, and you want to really just know when things are going well. I remember when I was teaching, when it was just going well, and I had a good schedule for a period of 3, 4, 5 years. This is great. This is a great job. I love it. Love what I'm doing. It really couldn't be any better. And savor it. Appreciate it. Enjoy it. So, anyway, I'm going to savor a good old flintlock as I let you go. How's that? Doesn't get any better. A brown Bess. Everybody ought to own one. Life is good.